Welcome to Greater Good Radio Hawaii, where leaders inspire leaders. Greater Good Radio Hawaii is dedicated to social entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Evan Leong, and with me is my co-host, Carrie Leong.
Mahalo, Evan. Today's guest is Lieutenant Governor Duke Aiona. Please welcome to Greater Good Radio Hawaii, Lieutenant Governor Duke Aiona.
Aloha.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
So could you tell us about your job? What do you do on a daily basis?
It's an exciting job because it's never repetitive. You know, you do different things every day, but for the most part, a lot of meetings, a lot of events where we get invited to luncheons, dinners, speak at various organizations, profits, nonprofits, Rotary clubs, chamber, businesses, you name it, schools. For me, I like to go to schools a lot. So I've, in the past 3 years, I've been to many, many schools because I feel that that's where I need to be, and I feel that's where we need to get the message out to our young people. And so whether it's elementary school or high school, public or private, it doesn't matter. I do a lot of schools, and we talk about different things. But mainly I'm trying to get my message out on drugs and alcohol. So I will be addressing most of the students on that. We also do a lot of reading to our students. So we go out, the governor and I and my wife, and we'll read to first graders, second graders, and we'll have fun with that.
And why Lieutenant Governor?
Oh, why did I run for Lieutenant Governor? Is that
why did you choose that position?
You know, for me, I call it a divine intervention. I had no intention of getting into politics or running for office. I was a state judge for about 8 years. Left the bench in 1999, actually the end of 1998, the beginning of 1999. And so I went out into private practice and was trying to find my little niche, you know, doing different things, and it was fun. And the next thing you know, people are interested in both parties actually approached me. First it was the Democrats, and then a couple of weeks later it was the Republicans. And to both of them I said, you know, don't call me, I'll call you. And so it was one of those things where I guess the Republicans were more persistent, but I kept saying no. And it was over a year. In fact, a couple of years, they kept calling and asking, you know, how about the House of Representatives? How about council member? Whatever it may be. And I kept saying no. And then they said, well, how about Lieutenant Governor? And I said no again. And I went home and I told my wife, and she didn't laugh. And that was the thing that got me, you know. I said, wait. She's not laughing. She said, you know what? Maybe we should pray on this. And so we did, and we prayed for a long time. And the response was basically, this is something you need to do. So there I was. I ran for office. We made our announcement in March of 2002, and we got elected to the primary. We won the Republican primary in September, teamed up with Governor Lingo, and we won in November. And here we are 3 years later. Well, actually, almost 4 years later. And
so this is the first time you've been in politics?
Absolutely first time.
Was it hard for you to get used to it? Or?
Oh, absolutely. You know, you got to think of it this way. As a judge, you're independent. You don't have a constituency. You're not responsible to anybody but the law, and that's your boss, the law and precedent. And like I said, you're independent, and for a lot of ways you're isolated because you don't go out and get a focus group and ask them, hey, what do you think about this sentence? Should I go this way or that way? So it was a very hard transition, not only from that perspective, but also now with my family, because now my family was put out in the limelight, and they had to make adjustments. So it's been a difficult but yet enjoyable transition to public life.
Are you able to share with us some of the challenges that you did go through transition, and then what you learned from that?
Probably the hardest, and you're going to say, I don't think this would be very hard, but probably the hardest transition for me was getting used to security. The night we were elected, you know, it was a late election return. I think we didn't find out till like 11 at night. And so, you know, you wind down. And so we were leaving at about 2. I believe it was 2 in the morning. Well, it was early morning. And so now I'm walking because we came in separate cars. And so my wife and the kids went in their car, and I'm walking to mine. I got these two guys following me, and I'm saying, well, what are you guys? It says, well, you know, where's your security? And I said, what do you mean security? So they said, well, we're assigned to you, and we can drive you or we can follow you. I said, well, you follow me. And so that night, though, we had rented a hotel room because, you know, we knew it was going to have a late night. So we went And the next morning woke up and we had two guys outside the hallway, and we're like, oh my goodness, you got to be kidding. Well, the kids kind of enjoy it, right? I mean, they go, wow, we got security, and my wife and I was like, this is an invasion of our privacy. We can't believe this. So believe me, that was one of the toughest things. The other thing is, of course, the public eye, that you're always in the public's eye. You know, what you do, what you say is always scrutinized, and you're always asked for your opinion. And so your opinion makes a difference. And it's not difficult in the sense to answer it, but it's difficult in the sense that it never had happened before. And so all of a sudden, what you say also will impact people. You'll leave an impression. And a lot of people look at what you may think is a very trivial and very non-existent issue is a foremost issue in a lot of people's minds. And so what you say makes a big difference. So that was probably the second biggest adjustment we had to make.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.